one. So, very short notice, and we're just going to keep it brief. But and I were watching the new Blue video earlier, and honestly just wanted to, I guess, with
Debrief from it, I guess.
yeah, debrief. That's a good way. We're just going to go for about half an hour. There's a heap of people. I know here to party now, which I wasn't meaning to kind of. It's just we thought this is the only time we could squirrel away from anyone else. TLI stream half an hour, and I obviously want to be there for that. Batsby's going to be at some point, so we just kind of sneak in there. So I'm not even going to call tonight. I apologise for the roll call, but let's just get into it. So, kind of thoughts on the top, off the top, / about what you thought about this piece of information.
Listening to it, or I guess reading it more so, it just shows that Lorne has never and will never ever listening. Or I don't know, are you done with the I Am a Predator calls, or you still have another part?
Oh, so I had a final part to go. I was going to do them today, but I don't think I will. I think this supersedes them. But like in saying that, the bit I've gone through the best part of it. Now is the kind of Lorne backtracking bullshit. So
right,
and he doesn't deserve for that to be heard again. So fuck him.
It looks like you're cutting out for people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You sounded a little bit better for me now, but
is that I just unplugged it and plugged it back in again. So
jump out and you call me back and see if that's better.
Is this any better, guys? It should be better now. I just reconnected my mic. Sometimes it fucks up.
Yeah, that sounds better now. Like you're not skipping.
Cool.
But yeah, so I was saying that you just got done with those calls where it seems like Lorne sort of kind of started to understand who he was and what he did. And you realize now that the only reason he did that, I mean, not realize now, we all know that the reason why he did it is because he wanted to get with Debbie, but that was the pure reason. He immediately backtracked. These documents take place a year, 2 years after that happens. He's spouting the same bullshit. He's doing the same shit. There's information in here. He's gotten worse from what we knew from any of the calls that we've watched or listened to.
Well,
so,
yeah. And
as to how he's not in prison right now is astounding to me.
I agree, and I think a lot of what has really annoyed. But there's two things that annoyed me, and we'll get into it a little bit more. It's annoyed me that, at least based on that report, it seems to me, he's psychologists, whoever are working with him, are enabling him. Like there's some things in there, and I'm not a psychologist. I don't claim to know that kind of stuff. But on the surface, some comments along the lines of, after he's revealed, a lot of really disgusting stuff where they seem to basically gloss over it and say his problems are mainly with relationships, really does my head in. But there may be more there, and we will kind of go through that in a second. But for me, what it has... These documents have kind of proven everything I've always kind of been, positive about Lorne, but in some ways have given him the benefit of the doubt, at least kind of publicly. Like things like, I'd always suspected, as I know others have, that the watching the Little House on the Prairie, like that was really about him using that as jerk off material for him.
We know that for sure now.
We know that for sure now, and anyone that hasn't had a chance to watch the video yet, we will go through it in a second. But he does say in that very clearly that is what he does there, amongst other things. And now, I've said many times, publicly, like on streams and that I think that is more about just having noise on in the background, that kind of thing. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I don't, as much as I hate Lorne, as much as he's a disgusting piece of shit, I don't see any benefit unless we know concrete about something. It's easy just to go, oh look, there's little girls in that show. He's still jerking off to them that, but without knowing that, that's not fair to do. But we know that now, so fuck you, you absolute unrepentant pedophile.
And just like how Eel says, we have the lowest possible opinion of Lorne, and somehow he's even worse than we thought. We up until today, it was only sort of theories and our guessing based off of things he said in calls. But this report, like, so Cybersqueak and I just did a stream. I'm sorry if I'm loud, guys, because I don't know if my volume's loud or if I'm just being loud, but I apologize. Cybersqueak and I just did a stream where we went over his polygraph exams from like 3-4 years ago. This isn't what this is. This is from April of this year. This is current. This is shit he is doing right now. So the fact that he can admit to probation violations, to admit that he fantasizes about having sex with little girls, to admit to jacking off to a 9-year-old on TV, how he is not in jail right now, how he's not in any sex offender treatment. That is a stipulation of probation last time I saw, as to how he's not locked up for years. It blows my brain apart.
Absolutely. And just the fact that he can make these revelations and then still say that, he doesn't need sex offender treatment.
Yes, that was the worst part. For him to make all these confessions and then still have the fucking balls to be like, but I don't need any help. Like, what? Yeah.
And this is what I cannot stand about Lorne, because there are people that have these kind of sexual thoughts about children that they can't help, that they don't want, that they do everything they can to be able to function in society and know that they're not going to be a threat to children. Lorne knows he has these thoughts. He admits, not publicly, but he admits to his psychologist that he does. Yet at the same time, doesn't want to engage, which means he likes that. He wants to be like this. He looks at what he is, and he is fine with that, and that is unforgivable. Unforgivable.
His issue isn't what he does; it's that other people know and tell him he can't do it. Like that's he doesn't. Just like how Tiffany brings up in a call, when did you get mad at yourself? And he says, right when Chris Hansen walked out. So you got mad, you were caught. You were not mad you spent a month grooming a child that you thought. You're not mad that you asked for a kiss, you wanted to blow her, all this shit. It's right when you got caught. So it's the same shit. He wants to drink and drive. He wants to do whatever he wants. He's just mad with the repercussions of it. He has no moral compass when it comes to these things. He just wants to do whatever he wants. And if that just so happens to be illegal, he just doesn't want people to find out about it.
Yeah, but like the fact that as recently as the last few years that he is still having these thoughts about children, he is masturbating to those thoughts. That should scare the fuck out of him. That should horrify him, but it doesn't. Anyway, I do want to watch little parts of this video. We won't watch all of it. It's about 20 minutes in length, and like I say, I don't want our ranting to take away from any of the other fantastic streamers that are streaming today.
Yeah, this will be here after. So if you want to go TLI, Here to Party, I think maybe TCAP Gaming started, please go there. You can come watch us afterwards.
Yeah,
so we apologize.
TCAP Gaming and Here to Party are streaming right now. So please go and watch them. Like Slash says, this will be here to watch back later, so if you want to listen to the ranting of two idiots, feel free to come back then. So let's get this up. Like I say, we won't go through all of it, but the link is, everyone's subscribed to Blue Boy, and if they're not, why not? But go and watch the full video when you can, because it's incredibly eye-opening, and it just feels like one of those days where you're like, holy shit. Someone in the chat said earlier, this is one of those days where you remember where you were and you found that, and that's what this feels like to me. Like
this is like
this has changed. I sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, I'm interrupting you. Go.
But yeah, I've always kind of thought that I think that there is something slight, like there is something. He isn't an absolute unredeemable piece of shit, but he is, and this has proved it.
Yeah, I was out walking my dogs, and I get a message from Cybersqueak and Eel Rearg. Watch that new Blue Boy video right now. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, they wouldn't tell me to do that if it wasn't bad. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't mean to laugh. This is not funny. So, Shawshank, can you make the playback speed 1.5 or 1? Do you want to kick the playback speed up a little more? A couple people have asked to do that. I guess it goes by a little quicker, and you can still understand it.
Yeah, well, I'm actually just going to kind of skip to like and pause.
There are
in
big
places.
parts, and we know what we want to cover, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing. I don't think, but they're like the polygraph from, I think it was February of 20 or February 17th, 2022. That's the money that's the money paragraph right there that we're probably going to get very angry at. But
so this is so.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, so this is a psychological evaluation of Lorne. The date of the report is the hang on, American. So it's the 30th of March 2022. American dates. Confused little old me.
Yeah, this is over the course of a couple of days. It looks like it's end of March and then early April that all these documents are from.
Yeah, so like on this page, some things to note here are, Mr. Armstrong said he had in the sex offender treatment class for the past 9 years. He noted he shouldn't be there because he completed the book 5 years ago. So he says this knowing that he didn't complete the book honestly, and they haven't accepted his answers in that, so he didn't complete it. But so just remember that when we're looking at these next pages, remember that this guy thinks he does not need to be in sex offender treatment class. Anything you kind of pick out of there that you want to?
No, you said what I thought. The fact that he says he shouldn't be in there because, again, he doesn't understand. He says he completed the book. Well, that's not what that class is, Lorne. It's not just writing shit down. It's having epiphanies, who you are, and how to change. We know that he was in that class for almost 10 years. When he restarted it, he would just hand in the same project, same book, same pages every time because he went, well, I finished this. He doesn't understand. He doesn't get why he is there. So
no.
That's what's so annoying. Like he doesn't understand it, but he knows he doesn't need it. That's what's frustrating.
Well, he says himself that he is still in treatment because of the internet, because of
goddamn church cod.
Yeah, and women online that would cheat on him and force him to get drunk and call them sluts. He would think to himself, why would you make me fall in love with you and treat me like this? Why? So he thinks that's his primary issue. Nothing to do with his attraction to children. Just amazing. And, going down later here where he said he wants to have in-person relationships rather than ones online. He indicated this is hard because the sex offence history as was well documented on the internet. Look, that is the only truthful thing he says in this whole report, in my opinion. Like, yes, it would be very hard to have in-person relationships like that. I mean, he's even still talking about Paula here, for fuck's sake. Fucking Paula. Sick of hearing about fucking Paula.
Yeah, we get the Lorne Armstrong greatest hits in this report.
It's amazing. So we'll skip forward to the next page.
This is the page. We're probably going to spend most of our time.
Yeah, this is fucking awful. So he has on April 19, 2019, Mr. Armstrong failed a question about whether he had used alcohol in the past year. During the post-polygraph test, Mr. Armstrong acknowledged drinking beer with his friend Tony and Tony's wife. So nothing awful there. I mean, we know he's an alcoholic and he's always going to drink. On June 9, 2020, Mr. Armstrong failed a polygraph about accessing the internet. He said that he had his aunt access the internet for him during job searches. He denied accessing the internet for any other means. Mr. Armstrong acknowledged he had accessed his mother's computer to look at YouTube and find out what people were saying about him. Well, I would love to know what you thought about what people are saying about you, Mr. Armstrong, you fucking cunt. Fucking wanker.
Sorry.
Shouldn't he be called? Doesn't deserve to be called Mister. No. Respect he doesn't deserve. Now, this is the one that blew my mind. On February 17, 2021, Mr. Armstrong failed a polygraph test about access to the internet, searching for media involving minors for sexual stimulation. Searching for media involving minors. and using fantasies involving minors for sexual stimulation in the past 7 months. This is in 2021. During the post-test interview, Mr. Armstrong acknowledged fantasizing about 10 to 14-year-old girls during masturbation. In May of 2021, Mr. Armstrong failed another polygraph test about looking at images of minors for sexual stimulation and looking at the bare sexual organs of a person under the age of 18. Mr. Armstrong identified 5 people he had dated in high school and said he fantasized about them. He acknowledged having sexual fantasies about a 9-year-old girl who was on TV to sing the national anthem wearing a short dress. Fuck you. He acknowledged watching Little House on the Prairie and masturbating to Mary. He did not indicate what age he was at the time. Unfucking believable.
That's it. How can he admit all that and still be walking around? Like, it wasn't just one thing. He's watching Little House on the Prairie to jerk off to little girls. He jerked off to a 9-year-old who was just singing the national anthem. He searched material for, under CSAM. He searched it. That's a crime right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just a probation violation. That is a crime. Like, as to how he, and I understand there's no proof. Like, he may admit it. Like, I do understand sort of kind of the handcuffing maybe that the police or probation may have if he just admits it, but there's no proof to it. But still, and he talks about how he fantasizes about his girlfriends from middle school and high school, 14, like, you're still thinking about them. You're 50 fucking years old and you're jerking off to memories of little girls. That doesn't tell you anything.
And this is the kind of thing, like I've said previously, where, Lorne kind of proudly says that, he doesn't watch pornography. The thoughts in his head are enough. This is why I don't want the thought. This is why I want him to watch, consensual
the thoughts in his head
pornography of consenting adults, because this is what's in this cunt's head. Like, honestly. Like, and he says that proudly, as like everyone's going to go, oh, well done for not watching pornography. Like as if there's, something wrong with that, but there's not with this kind of shit. Like, I don't even know what to say.
I don't watch porn because I have enough images of little girls in my head already that I can just jack it to them. That's basically what he just said.
That is essentially what he admits to here. And please, we're going to go on to the next page now, and probably what personally, I don't know if it's the same for you. Personally, what I found the most troubling is kind of the psychologist evaluation of all this. But before we move on to there, remember what he's saying here, that he was masturbating to a 9-year-old girl on TV who was just singing the national anthem, wearing a short dress, as Lorne puts it. That he was, masturbating to bare sexual organs of a person under 18 and fantasizing about 10 to 14-year-old girls during masturbation. So that context is going to be really important when very shortly we read about the evaluation summing up that, I won't quote it exactly because we'll read in a second, but basically saying that his issue is not having a sexual attraction to children. It's relationships, and that he's basically using those things to fantasize relationships. So, like, basically would have us believe that while he's jerking it to that 9-year-old girl singing the anthem, he's thinking, oh, geez, I bet she'd be fantastic to go out with. I bet she's a really nice person. Get fucked. And if you're actually a psychologist and you actually believe that, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not saying I'm better or I know, but logically, you're a fucking fool and you're enabling a disgusting, unrepentant pedophile. G'day, Blue Boy. Thank you for this.
Yes, thank you, Blue Boy. Yeah, we just had we just had to go live. This document we were like fired the fuck up the last hour or so. We were like, we got to go live right now. So, and yeah, just like it's almost like he didn't hear what Lorne just. It wasn't like, okay, the failed polygraph test. It's obviously, those aren't admissible in court because they're not totally trustworthy. What they're used for is a tool to trick gullible people, which Lorne is. So he fails that question, and then he immediately spills his guts. He admits to jacking off to the 9-year-old. It's not he failed a polygraph, where he admits to doing that. He admits to jacking off the Little House on the Prairie. Oh, you know what? If he had a woman there who was, his age, he wouldn't be doing this. Bull fucking shit. Like, we see nothing's ever enough for Lorne. He has Winnie. He goes after her daughter.
Hmm.
It's like how you could say that if he just had an act like that's shit. That's almost like Lorne wrote it. How he says that shit like, oh, probation says I have to have a relationship in face to face in order to get off probation. They won't let me till you're here. It's like, what? It's like Lorne wrote this report.
It is like, I mean, if it wasn't, so well written in terms of grammar and spelling,
That's true.
I would. Although they have spelt his fucking name wrong at the top of this page, like,
Oh
not
my
that
god, they did.
like not that he deserves the respect of his name being spelled correctly, but come on, and I just want to read out something that Blue Boy's written in the chat. He says, if anyone thinks that it's fake, it's really not. He had his entire trailer searched top to bottom over this, amongst many other things that prove it's real. I'm trying to get the calls together.
Please, I can't wait for that, Blue Boy.
Yep. And look, I'm really glad you gave that context, mate, because potentially I am being too hard on the main justice there if they have gone and, searched his trailer top to bottom after this. So, maybe they're not
or
as
CSAM and
enabling
stuff like that.
as I thought. So I'm glad I kind
but
of got that before I went right off.
I mean, but still, he's had so many probation violations, but they don't do anything. And he gets a slap on the wrist when he actually 6 months. Like he gets like the minimum. I really and thank you, Blue Boy. That I don't want to say it makes me feel better, but it does. It is better to know that they did take some sort of action after this, at least probation side or the police side, to go and search his trailer for CSAM or any other pictures that he has.
Yep.
But still, how a sex offender could admit to all of this, not be, as far as this report, he's not in any help. He's not in any therapy or any, like, that's what it sounds like. He's in and out of jobs. How is he not? How all these probation violations haven't added up to him going back to jail?
Exactly
and
right.
And we say this all the time. It's not for lack of trying that Lorne hasn't molested somebody. It's thank God he lives in bumfuck nowhere. That it is more difficult for him to accomplish this.
That's exactly right. Like, if he was in like a densely populated area, like, imagine if he was in somewhere, and now, feel free to laugh at me at my, lack of, American geography, but like, somewhere like New York or something, really densely populated, lots of kind of places where a disgusting person like him could kind of hide and lurch, and that, it would be a nightmare, But fortunately, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere where he lives, you're not having lots of kids probably riding past on bikes and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just the actual opportunity for him to be himself is limited,
mm-hmm.
which is
yes.
which is fantastic. So this is one of the bits that got me really fired up, and like I say, I'm probably a little less now with that context that Blue Boy provided there. But so the look assessment is a visual time reaction measure of sexual interest. It uses an individual as their own baseline and helps identify which genders and age groups of people the person is most sexually attracted to. The groups assessed include senior females and males, mature adults males, adult males and females, juvenile females and males, pre-juvenile males and females, small child females and males, and infant families and males. Mr. Armstrong rated himself as most attracted to adult 20s to 30s females and then mature 40s to 50s females. The objective measures of sexual attraction suggest he is most attracted to mature females and to adult and senior females. His sexual interest should be considered normal. To me, that reads...
Clearly not!
No, to me that reads really disturbing. Now, I don't know the look assessment. I don't know if basically that is just a summation of what that... Like, if that last kind of line or two is the summation of this is how they have rated them. So perhaps that is, because that seems incredibly bizarre that after all of these revelations, after his noted history, his recorded history of trying to meet children, that they would sum it up as that. So giving them the benefit of the doubt, perhaps that's just how the look assessment works. It's about asking the person their feelings, and that's just the psychologist kind of wrapping that up as saying, based on on Mr. Armstrong's things, this should be considered normal. So I hope that's the case, because
Right,
if a psychologist actually took all of
yeah.
this in and said that his sexual interest is normal, that's really concerning.
I guess it's because, like, you know, they say, what is your interest? They take his age and the answer he gives, and that's technically normal. You know what I mean? So that's the answer of the look assessment, but still, like, it is, how is there's not another line under it that says, like, but after what he just said, he's probably lying about his attractions.
Yeah.
Like,
And now,
I like how he, just real quick, I like how
Yeah.
he says, like, his first is 20 and 30-year-olds. People who are 30 years younger than him. That's his preference.
Yes.
30.
That's right. And, like, you know, and that's like, you look at, like, the things like Rhoda, which, while those calls are really disturbing to listen to, that's why they're so important, because, you know, while technically Rhoda was of age, or over age, as Lorne would put it, like, only just, and also, you know, mentally not really. And after all of this, he still went for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, all this stuff is further proof that he will never change. But so this is the bit that, yeah, really upset me. So the look assessment suggests Mr. Armstrong is not primarily attracted to prepubescent children. This suggests that his use of adolescent girls for masturbatory fantasies is more about his ideas of the relationship rather than aspects of the body. And this is what I was asking everyone to remember, what he admitted to before. So then this is what I find really disturbing and really concerning for the people that are evaluating him and who are, I guess, monitoring him. If this is their true thoughts, and like I said, in case I'm misunderstanding this test, and this is all just her, him or her, summating what he has said, but my reading of it doesn't seem that way. It would be helpful. It would be helpful to explore why he chose those people to think about while masturbating and what he found arousing about them. That may open the discussion to his ideas about relationships. So their summation based on the fact that they know he has tried to meet several children in the past. They know he's exposed himself to children. They know that he, you know, tried to guide them to masturbate for him. They know that he has masturbated to the thoughts of them. They know that in very recent history, he admitted to masturbating to a 9-year-old girl singing the national anthem and wearing a short dress and all those other things. But their summation is that it is not about an attraction to their anatomy. It is about fantasies of that relationship. Is fucking ridiculous.
You know, Lorne loved that. He went, see, I'm vindicated now. It's because you're not here with me. If you were fucking here, I wouldn't be doing this shit.
And that is exactly right. And I would be shocked if in future calls from this, we don't hear that. We don't hear about how, a psychologist evaluated me, and they said I'm not attracted to children, and that I don't find children attractive, but they said that you know, my issues are with relationships. That's why you need to come here, baby. Like, he will use this. He will overlook everything else, and he will clutch onto that. But I cannot understand this report. How in the one report you can be talking about what relationship is he fantasizing about? Like, when he is searching for CSAM on the internet, like, what is he trying to find those images to go, oh, she would be such a great girlfriend. Look how caring she looks. You know, are you serious? You can't be serious. I'm just about done with what I want to say. So over to you.
What was that I was talking about?
I'm done with what I want to say on this bullshit. So over to you.
Okay. The other thing is that the 9-year-old, yes, she was not nude, but she's 9. It was an image of a 9-year-old. You know, and he distinctly remembers she had a short skirt on, so that turned him on. You know, he doesn't also say, you know, I turned on women's volleyball and you know, he's saying these times, like, he's admitting to doing these to, like, kids.
That's right.
Clearly kids, like, distinctly. And so how he can tell probation, yeah, I jerked off watching TV, a 9-year-old in a little skirt. That is essentially CSAM to him. That is what that is to him.
That is exactly right. Like, yes, it is not actual, abuse material because that child was not being abused, but he doesn't look at it that way. He is admitting to looking at that and fantasizing about that. Like, what part?
And then,
You go.
sorry, I got
No,
more
you
work.
go.
Continue. I was going to change the subject. Continue.
I was just going to say, what part of a 9-year-old singing a national anthem and wearing a short skirt has anything to do with a relationship? Like,
Right. What is that?
Not that you could accept any of this, but their reading of that being a relationship, you could accept based on you couldn't accept it, but you could see where they're coming from based on, the watching of the Little House on the Prairie. If they want to be really kind to him, they could look at that and go, well, it's because you're watching a story there. That's a story. So you're seeing relationships, you're seeing people's interactions. So he might be watching Mary and going, oh, geez, her and fucking Tommy, or I don't know who the fuck's in Little House on the Prairie. Fuck that fucking show. Who even would watch that? Like, fucking Little Mary, Little Tommy are so happy together. I wish I had that relationship. Oh, I wish that was fucking me and Jamie. Fuck off. Like, that is the only thing. A little girl singing the national anthem is not a fucking relationship. It is not fantasizing about a relationship.
and so, like I said before, it's the Armstrong, Lorne Armstrong greatest hits. It's in here. He immediately starts spouting into his history of family sexual abuse, which we've talked about before, our stances on that and things. And in here, it says, first, the family system may not have taught Mr. Armstrong the skills necessary for a loving, interdependent relationship. Lorne must love seeing that because, again, it vindicates his actual bullshit of being like, fucking, I was trying to love my fucking brothers and sisters and they fucking screwed me over. They stole the money I stole. Like, this report is vindicating him in his eyes. If he read this, which obviously he probably probably did because he sent it to Jamie or whoever. He read this and probably jerked off to it too. Like, oh, I finally somebody understands what I'm going through or some fucking bullshit.
Yep.
So he gets these. This probably is more harmful. And then it says that for this to be the strategy, because they do bring up, they put victim stance, Lorne's victim stance in quotations, which I guess is them kind of saying that it's bullshit, but whatever. In order for a successful strategy, he will need to have a positive relationship with his providers and believe they are trying to help him rather than simply telling him what to do. I would bet he had that chance when he first started this. He's gone through, how many chances has he had over and over and over? How many different probation officers? He was given a chance. He fucked up. He got sent to her manager. They had to get a tighter hold on him to watch him. The reason why they're not nice to him is because of his actions. He doesn't deserve to be treated this nicely. He deserves to be told what to do, and that's it. He doesn't get this leniency anymore. It's over.
That's right. Like, there's after this many years, after this much refusal, it needs to be the time. Well, you've had too many chances. You've been given your chances. You've been released. You had to go into this treatment. You have denied it. Like, for me, the only options left for Lorne should be prison for the rest of his life or constant strict monitoring, as in, this is what you will do, Mr. Armstrong. If you break this very clear, strict line, you will go back to jail until a time where we think you deserve another chance to be back to jail again. Like, he is past the point of having his fucking hand held and, come on, Lorne. No, this is ridiculous. Now, the only thing I will say that is this paragraph here is pretty funny in light of what Lorne says all the time, and you can see where he pulls this shit from, and it does seem to think that this report is taking the whole prepubescent and adolescent attraction a bit more seriously. So throughout the interview, Mr. Armstrong spoke about his sex offender treatment as if he was still engaged in it. He said he was still in treatment because his provider wanted him to have a relationship. So this is such a good look into Lorne's mind. Like, he honestly thinks that they're like, Lorne, we know you're not attracted to kids, but I'm really concerned you don't have a relationship, mate. Sounds like that Jamie's giving you the ring around. Stay in class so we can really work on that. I can give you some tips to try to, trick her into coming down here. Like, this is what this cunt believes. Like, how do you work with this? How do you work with someone who, being told that they need to be in sex offender treatment program, sees that as them wanting to make sure they have a relationship? Like, he believes that he's gone through life, he's ripped people off, he's tried to fuck several kids, he's been caught on TV trying to fuck a kid, he's gone to prison, he's come out of prison, he's gone back to prison, and all of their, main probation and their treatment facilities are sitting there going, we just have to get that bloke laid. Like, are you serious? You can't be. He can't be serious.
And what I also love, one of the funnier lines in this is that, again, like we said before, Lorne said he no longer needs to be in this class.
Yes.
And what this line says is, he reported he had been discharged from the program for saying he wanted to hurt sex offenders. Beyond this, it does not appear Mr. Armstrong has gained knowledge from the sex offender specific treatment process. He was unable to identify what he had learned or what sort of changes he had made. You fucking got me out of patterns. What patterns? Don't fucking ask me that. Yeah, this reporter just needs to give him 3 years, and Lorne will come right back in April of 2025 and tell him fucking what he learned from that class.
Exactly right. But he's essentially talking to Ramona. You got me out of patterns, fucking Dwayne or Stacy or whoever his thing is there. Like, what patterns, Lorne? Oh, I just know you got me out of patterns. I can't tell you, Eddie. I can't tell you what I've learned. Like, it is... And then, while it is understandable if he could not articulate all the tools and interventions he has been exposed to, he was unable to identify any. This is particularly concerning.
10 years, nearly 10, a decade. He couldn't recall one. Anything.
This is particularly concerning, given his admissions of using thoughts of young adolescents, pre-adolescents for sexual satisfaction during masturbation as recently as last year. Particularly given the nature of his offence, this is very concerning. I agree.
No shit. And then you go and write this bullshit about his it's all because of his family and all this bullshit. Like, he's a menace and a monster. That's all Lorne will ever be. He's, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't stop Lorne from being a pedophile.
No, he will never change.
And how he likes to say he's a hebephile. Dude, you just jerked off to a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
You're a pedophile.
That's exactly right. And he will never change. He will be like this till his last breath. Like,
he'll die being like, I'm dying because of the fucking Church of God, and then he'll die.
That's pretty much exactly right. He'll be on his deathbed and he'll still be going, fucking Paula, I gave her all my fucking trust and mac and cheese and deviled eggs and fucking trot your ass down here, Debbie! Like, that'll be how this motherfucker dies. And I just wish I could be there to see it. Like I won't be able to be, but there is nothing redeemable about him.
Well, hopefully, by the time he dies, it'll be like that episode of Black Mirror where everybody has like a camera in their head and records everything. And then we can just, watch him dying over and over and over again.
Now that will be an emergency stream if that ever happens. Like,
that would be immediately, right away.
But that's it. Like, his death scene will be like the Viserys dying. Like, but instead of reaching out saying "I love," it'll be mac and cheese.
God damn it! What are you just spoiling everything for everybody? Jeez.
Spoiler.
Fucking show just came out yesterday.
Edamame says it won't be on his deathbed because he can't afford a bed. His death floor.
Death floor. Lorne's death floor. That's a good new account. But this has honestly been therapeutic to at least like vent
Yeah.
about this fucking. The other thing, I guess, the last thing I want to say, I like how he talks about his relationships, and they wait. One was for 2 weeks, and the other one was for 1 week, and he considers that a relationship. Like that's just dating. Like you're going out like dating and a relationship are different things. You know, you could go out on a date with somebody a few times and not be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, so like he's like yo, or it could probably because he doesn't specify anything else. It was probably like we always say the cash register at the fucking Wawa he goes to or whatever. Like it's oh we were in a relationship for a week and then she told me I can't come anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like,
And
it'll
all the
be.
women on the internet, they set him up. He was only abusive because of the things that they did. No, they set up scenarios to see what you would do, and you chose abuse.
Mm,
That's it. That's what happened, Lauren. Yes, the character of Winnie is abusive. She is. She's an abusive person. But it was to show you Winnie is the female version of you, Lauren. That's the whole point of that character.
yeah,
Is
that's exactly right.
he's gonna be
Exactly right.
fucking 52 years old tomorrow, and he fucking still spouts this absolute horseshit.
Yep.
I
Um,
hope Paula. That's a good question for Sean McClure. He might know that Korea Awake. Does Paula has Paula ever seen the Bowling Green episode? We'll have to ask Sean next time I talk to him. He might know.
mm. So yeah, look, that's just about our. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
we went for about 45. So I'm done. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we go off?
Just I hope everybody. This is honest. This was a great capper, Blue Boy, to this Lauren. It was
Yep.
like this is when your parents let you open up one gift on Christmas Eve. Like tomorrow's gonna be a nice festivity. Everybody's gonna be streaming. We're gonna be hopping around. Everybody laughing at this asshole. So to sort of get this out of the way tonight was honestly better, I think, because
Look,
I think tomorrow I would have just been too mad to enjoy anything. You know,
no,
like
that is
I can't
that is
fucking.
exactly right, and I don't know if that was your kind of thought behind releasing it today, Blue Boy, but if it was, genius, like because that's exactly right because tomorrow is all about having fun with each other, like and but I just yeah okay, Blue Boy said I figure tomorrow should be a fun day, like brilliant, like like just brilliant. Um, but yeah, look, I mean, all I want to say is I feel so much better now, kind of getting to have a bit of a vent with all you guys. I felt terrible that we kind of did this over the top of others, but we just need to get it out. Um, yeah, what I will say, so thank you very much to Blue Boy for putting this up because this really puts a lot of Lorne and recent Lorne into context. But check out the video on Blue Boy's channel. But yeah, let's tomorrow's going to be a really fun day. In fact, the rest of tonight's going to be a really fun day. TLI is streaming, and they're always amazing streams. I can't wait to get in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's all have a really really great night tomorrow night. Like at the end of the day, nothing we do or say will ever change Lorne. So get your anger out with this kind of video on that today, and we can't change him, so let's all have fun together and let's support each other, and just tomorrow should be a celebration of what is so awesome about this community, because there's a fucking lot of awesome shit about this community.
And speaking of that, we will you're streaming tomorrow. I will be on it. There's going to be a group of people on with Cornville, so there's going to be a bunch of people streaming. So it's gonna kind of going to be like bar hopping. Like it's just going to be there's going to be like probably 4 or 5 people live. You can just go hang out with whoever. You can jump around. So we're doing that tomorrow, and then Wednesday post Lorne, I have thanks to Heelborn, I have the prison journal. So we're gonna because I thought that would be a good thing to read after Lorne because he would then be in prison on the 19th, or jail. So we'll be reading and listening to that on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm very excited for tomorrow. But thanks for
Me
humoring
too.
us today, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. This was really good. Like it was maddening, but it was really good. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see all you guys in streams, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys. Delete your archives.